Hey guys, so as you can tell by the name of the video, I have a new package to open up. This one's from Alpha Knife Supply, so I thought I'd just show you guys a little bit more of what I got. I'm still expecting one more package from USA Knife Maker, but this should be this is just going to be some G10 and some more blade steel, some more stainless. So let's take a look at what we got. Packaged nicely. Packaged really nicely, which is good. Just got to bust it open. So what we have is, this is even the last layer. No, just a little more. We have some more steel, another bar S35, and a nice bar of N690, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And in addition to that, we have some G10. And what we have is a nice big sheet of earth brown. This is 1/4 inch, a full sheet of it. I'm going to start using this for some of my handle scales. A sheet of earth brown, but for liners. A sheet of OD for liners. A sheet of toxic. And this is actually, I think, desert tan as compared to the coyote brown. It's a little less of a, you can see that's a coyote brown, that's a desert tan, a little different color. So, as you can see, I'm switching back to, and with yesterday's video, other than the toxic, which is for some orders, I'm kind of switching back to my regular color scheme, which is sort of the earth tones. But yeah, the main point of this video was the conversation I had today, which was on blade steels. Now, I'm not going to say who I was talking to, but I can assure you that it is somebody who knows a lot about blade steel, a lot more than you, me, or most other knife makers or knife buyers out there. So basically what he told me is this, is I had emailed him looking for some 154 and S35 in certain thicknesses. And about an hour later, I was out for a beer after work with my buddy, and I got a phone call, and I didn't recognize the phone number, and it was from this guy. So he's a knife supplier and a knife material supplier, and we started talking. And he basically told me a few things that you might agree with or not agree with. I'm not here to try to tell you that this is right or wrong. This is just what he told me, and it's kind of eye-opening. So first of all, S35 VN is not as good of a knife steel as S30V. Essentially what happened was Chris Reeve of Chris Reeve Knives, I'm sure we all know him and his product, worked together with Crucible Steels to come up with S35 VN. And they invested a lot of time and money and everything into the project. And basically what S35 is compared to S30 is it is easier to machine than S30V and easier to hand sand and get the scratches out. But it gives up a lot of performance compared to the S30V to have those additional attributes of, you know, ease of workability and to be able to machine it easier, which is something Chris Reeve likes. He likes easy steels that are easy on his machines because he makes a lot of folding knives. But they're kind of kicking themselves, from what I understand. This is what the guy told me in my conversation, is that they're kind of kicking themselves now is because they worked so hard to create this steel, which isn't a bad steel, but essentially what they found is that the properties are just not as good as S30V. And the changes they made to make it easier to machine kind of gave up a lot in terms of performance. So although kind of the higher end knife companies use it, specifically Chris Reeve, the reason he uses it is because he has too much invested in it at this point to not use it. When in reality, the S30V steel that he used to use and that a lot of other companies still use is actually a better quality knife steel in terms of edge retention, durability, everything else you'd want in a good blade. So that was first. Second, I asked him about 154 CM. He said essentially they're starting to phase out their 154 in favor of the N690 because the N690 is more affordable for both the suppliers and guys like me, the makers, and then you know, through the chain also you guys, the purchasers. And it actually has better attributes than the 154 cm steel. Now I could do another video pulling out the charts that show the makeup of the steels and what's in them, but essentially he told me that the N690 is kind of the way to go if you want the best quality stainless steel that's still affordable. We kept talking for a bit. I was still on the phone. I was starting to feel bad because my buddy was just in the restaurant there waiting, but I kind of finished it with what is the best stainless steel in the market right now, and he said Elmax is the best steel right now that you can use for knives. And I said, oh, Elmax, yeah, Zero Tolerance is using that right now in all their Hinderer collaboration. He said, yeah, and apparently Zero Tolerance is actually kicking themselves because for those of you who know Zero Tolerance, they are big on the whole made in USA, everything that we use is USA made. But Elmax actually isn't a US steel. Now, they're kind of in a bit of a jam because they're finding that customer response to the Elmax is better than what they're getting for their S30V and their S35 blades, but they've forever preached that they're not going to use anything that's not USA made, and Elmax, in fact, is not USA made. So apparently also Elmax has been approved by the US Department of Defense for use in their military purposes, but so that might be an angle Zero Tolerance has to take. But anyway, it was an interesting conversation, sort of an eye-opener. These are the 3 steels that I've ordered from them, which, like I said, S35VN, not a bad steel, but just not as good of a steel as S30V. 154, again, a good steel, but not quite as good as N690. And in terms of affordability, this is actually the most expensive bar when these two are about the same in price, but this one's likely more, I think this one's more affordable. This is actually the better steel, so kind of interesting. Just a bit of a commentary on that. Like I said, take it for what you think it's worth. I'm not here to say or not say anything. Like I said, this was all from a conversation I had with someone who I would trust more than anyone else right now in terms of steel and the qualities of steel. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's just sort of my quick video tonight, showing you my new stuff, and yeah, thanks for watching.